Do you use entheogens or do you use psychedelics? What's the difference? Let's talk about it. I'm Sincere Seven. I represent the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit as well as the House of Genesis. And we just here to have a little bit of urban philosophy, a little cushion coffee. You know what I'm saying? A little talk about things that we find interesting in our community. So I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I used the word entheogen, and they was kind of like thrown off. And then I had used the word psychedelic, and they was like, oh, okay, cool. And as the conversation went by, I started kind of explaining the difference, and they was like, oh. And then I was talking about, just like the difference in psychonauts versus, and I forgot what term I used for the other one, but more like people, well, so to keep it simple, I say that psychonauts use psychedelics and spiritual workers use entheogens. Wait a minute. Instantly, the debate begins as soon as I finish that statement, because I'm a spiritual worker and I will use LSD, which is not considered an entheogen. It's considered a psychedelic. But then you have those things that have that soft qualification that spread over, right? So let me tell you how this conversation came about. We were talking about Changa and the difference in Changa and DMT, the utilization, where you go, the activation. And the person said, oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that one. Somebody told me they took that before. I was like, oh, okay. And he said, but they took it with crack. And I said, wait, what? Hold on, wait, what? Run that by me again. And we started laughing because it was like, no, it was serious shit. Like this individual was talking about, I think they used DMT and crack at the same time. And that individual was like, this person, they like that. They really about, and I was like, oh, yeah, they a psychonaut. And again, that's what the conversation sparked, right? So psychonauts, like how astronauts will explore space, right? The atmosphere, the universe, right? Psychonauts explore altered states of consciousness. So we all know, I think, somebody who, no matter what substance is laid on the table, they're going to take part in it. Yo, you smoke some weed? Yeah, let me hit that joint. Yo, sniff a little bit. I guess I'll do a line. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yo, you want to hit this meth? Oh, shit. You got a spoon or we doing syringe? Wait a minute. Hold the... and let me just be very clear. I don't want no confusion. Yes, I'm judging. Okay. Yes, I'm judging, right? That would be a psychonaut. Like, they're open to exploring these different states of consciousness. Crack, meth, cocaine, these different pills that people pop, all of these different things. They're with it. Now, that is more psychonaut activity, right? Whereas when you deal with somebody who's a spiritual practitioner and they use entheogens, yeah, that's what he said. They took it with crack. I was like, wait, what? Spiritual workers are usually using entheogens, right? Because part of what we're doing is tapping into the spirit, right? So the spirit, as I loosely like to hey baby, give me a kiss. Mwah. Okay, I'm smoking right now though, okay? Hey, okay, so I'm gonna need you to go upstairs until I'm done smoking, okay?
Can you hear that song, babe?
Can you hear that song?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll play it for you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, baby. Not right now though. So spiritual practitioners are looking for the spirit. And again, loosely, I will describe spirit as the vibration given off by the character, right? The character is the living being, the entity that is expressing itself, and the vibration given off from that would be what I would loosely call the spirit, right? So when we're dealing with mushrooms, they have a spirit within that fungi. When we're dealing with cactus, there's a spirit within that cacti. There's all of these different bufo, there's a spirit in that animal. DMT is what's referred to as the spirit molecule. I speak about this quite often, and I get into little debates. To me, DMT is my least favorite of all entheogens or psychedelics, but it does give you the understanding of open up the spiritual realm. It does do that. So when you do the DMT and fractals and then oh, I'm somewhere else. I'm in an altered state of consciousness. If you've never experienced what it feels like being in an altered state of consciousness, that's DMT. Then you come back. There was no teachings going on. Y'all stop it. Who took DMT and brought back some information? Come on, I'll wait. Not long though. Talk to me. I'll talk back. Talk a little shit because I talk that. You do DMT and you blast out, you take off, you go to the realms and you open up and you see the realms of the entheogenic realms. That's it. You just see where you can go to meet with the teachers. But the teachers have been extracted out. They've been taken out. DMT is straight visuals and experience, and then you come back. No teachings, because no teachers was in the school. They was extracted. There's no plant teachers. There's no fungi teachers. There's no animal teachers. There's just the molecule to open that up, right? So I see that as the baseline one, right? And then we have psychedelics. Now, for me, psychedelics are that. Mind manifesting is the terminology that it comes from, definition or whatnot. So for me, the reason that term applies is because the lack of the teacher and more of the chemistry of the brain or the mind being altered to be allowed to manifest. Okay. So when we're dealing with things like MDMA, which I love, and that's not even really what I would call a psychedelic, it's more of a heart opener. At the levels I've used it at, I'm like 100 milligrams. It's a heart opener, major. So I don't have any visuals. I don't take off. I don't have anything mentally, so to speak, like, visuals and psychedelically going on, right? It's just a major heart opener, right? But then you got things like the 2CB and things like this where they will alter your consciousness. But again, from me as a shaman, there's no teachers present. There's information, right? Just like the difference in Google and a teacher. Like there's information in Google, but there's no teacher. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Access to information. That's how I see the psychedelics. Whereas in entheogens, these are more tapped in and tuned in to nature. They respond to nature. You ever notice how if you on mushrooms or cactus or all of these different things, like the element of nature is almost necessary for the full comfort of the experience, right? Because it's from whence it's come and it's trying to take you back to it. And that's where the information that you receive when you're on these substances comes from nature, which is why a lot of it be nature positive, be pro saving the earth, pro saving the animals, all of these types of things, because it's part of a larger system and it's trying to get you to see your part in the system and how you can improve the system as a whole. And that is the idea behind being a spiritual practitioner. See, whereas, and I'm not judging either one, right? I'm just kind of speaking of the difference, right? Whereas a psychonaut is really interested in exploring. They want to explore the states of consciousness. They want to escape. They want to go and feel and experience different things. Whereas spiritual practitioners, they're usually more of becoming one with, as opposed to separating from. It's more about bringing together. It's more about integration. It's more about symbiotic relationships. Um, Improving myself so I can improve my community. This is a spiritual practitioner or a entheogenic state of mind. Get away from everybody, see something different, escape, all of that. That's more of a psychedelic or psychonaut state of mind. Now, don't take these terminologies and place them and then get stuck, because there are psychonauts who are in the spiritual realm, and there are spiritual practitioners who are psychonauts. So it's not saying, oh, if you're a psychonaut, you'll do any substance just to escape and just no, 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 no. I'm saying the approach, the approach. Most of the psychonauts that I've met, they really aren't what we would call spiritual people. They're not really, for the most part, from what I've met and what I've spoken to. Usually you have more of one or another, even though some of them will still take entheogens and or psychedelics, you know what I'm saying? Whether they claim to be one or another, you know what I'm saying? You could pretty much tell, okay, you more, even though you a psychonaut, because as far as I'm concerned, all of them are psychonauts. If you use substances to do your spiritual work, if you use mind-altering substances to do your spiritual work, you're a psychonaut. But every psychonaut is not a spiritual practitioner. Melissa, peace, what go on? Peace, fam. Right? And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like that ideology of using these terms, psychedelic versus entheogen. If a person refers to one as one, that doesn't mean that they, right? I use them both terms. While I'm talking, I'll say psychonauts. I'll say psychedelics or entheogens and then keep it moving. I'll literally say both, you know? So when I'm using psychedelics or entheogens, I tend to lean towards blah, 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 blah. I usually say them both to just kind of put both of them out there so individuals can understand that this conversation that we're having goes across the board, whether you're a psychonaut or you're a spiritual practitioner. You're going into the realms of altered states of consciousness. And that's what we're really talking about, right? But what are you doing in those altered states of consciousness? The other day I put up a post. What do you use mushrooms for? Recreation, healing, spiritual practices, travel and escape, or something like that. You know what I mean? And everybody was coming with different answers. And then there was a couple people who put something and I was like, oh, okay, that's different. You right? So that's what I was trying to give the understanding of is there's a plethora of us out here who do the same things, but we're all doing them for different reasons. Some people are literally just doing 3.5 grams of mushrooms because it's Saturday and fuck, like, let's turn on a movie. This is going to be cool. And then there's people doing 3.5s of mushrooms and they have, you know what I'm saying, their cauldron sitting in front of them and the invocation and the petition, and they going in and doing some works under the full moon. And then there's the people who have the 3.5 and they chewing it down and they're doing some, shadow work. They're doing some healing, things like that. Right. So we got to understand that just because we are all utilizing the same substances, utilizing the same modalities, or doing the same practices, that we're not all doing them for the same reason. Thank you for your passionate education. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you. You figure deal me? Yo, love y'all. So yeah, I just wanted to kick it about that. The idea of psychedelics versus entheogens. And also, let's keep the judgment out of it. I'm not one of those people who look at it like, oh, well, you use mushrooms and cactus and ayahuasca, so you're better than them who use MDMA, 2CB, and, whatever other synthetic that's out there. I don't judge. As a practitioner, I speak on what I do and what I don't do, and I leave it to others to do differently, such as I'm a Bufo practitioner. I always use real Bufo directly, 5-MeO DMT from the toad. I don't use synthetic Bufo. never have, and don't plan on it, right? But I don't knock people who do. They have reasons why they prefer that. They have their clientele and the people who prefer that as opposed to the natural, right? But I don't use synthetic bufo. But I'm not gonna say, oh, they're using that synthetic bullshit. Don't go to them. Nah, maybe that's what you want. Maybe you have a synthetic type of lifestyle and you want to use synthetic spiritual based modalities. But to me, just see how I said that, to me, it just didn't sound like, okay, I'm dealing with my spirituality, so I'm going to use something synthetic made in the lab to represent the hundreds of years of, well, with Bufo, maybe not as much history and tradition um, as with things such as ayahuasca, right? But still, the mindset of utilizing a synthetic when I have the natural in within my, like peyote. I'm a very big person on the peyote with the respect, right? Because of the over usage and the people not respecting the cultures. This is what I would call a locational medicine. There's certain medicines that are locational, like they in that location for a reason. Iboga in Gabon, Africa, it grows there for a reason. The peyote and where it grows, these things grow only in certain regions. The bufo toads, where they're found, they are in those areas for a reason. And so I think that there is a respect factor that goes with that. Let me be very clear. That's what I'm saying. So when you have something like the peyote that takes years and years and years to mature and people are overusing, I will not have stocked, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of peyote, right? But at the same time, if they came out with the synthetic peyote, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. Even though, you know what I'm saying, there's a lack of, and you know what I'm saying, overpay, all those issues, that I'm still going to look at it like that's what makes it sacred. That's what makes it sacred. To take it into a lab and create a synthetic version of it, it's kind of like, I'd rather use the natural version. I'm not using synthetic psilocybin. I'm not using synthetic cactus or mescaline. Now mescaline, you can get it extracted. You can get it extracted. That's different. So, you know, people would think a lot of times that these different forms means that it's synthetic. You know what I'm saying? That's not, no, it's extracted. Just like they extract DMT. DMT is not synthetic. It is natural, but it's extracted from, you know. So it's just these different things. And this is why I always say the education behind what we're doing is of the utmost importance, because a lot of times we'll have these ideas and these feelings towards things because we don't have the proper education. I was like that when it came to LSD. I was never like LSD, acid. No, I'm not taking. Oh man, what was it? The War on Drugs and the DARE program. And I remember being in there, and they used to tell us all type of stuff. This acid that you take it, and that once you take it, it never goes away. That is stored in your body, and you can just out of sudden, out of nowhere, it reactivates, and you can get in accidents and I was like, damn, they're just creating this crazy, and you know. And then, you know, once I really got into plant medicine and all of these different things and studying and going all these different places and really understood that this comes from a different fungus, just like mushrooms is a fungus, acid is a fungus, the ergot fungus, you know what I mean? The rye and the whole Salem witch hunt trials and how all these things went together. It was like, oh, now I get it. And the extraction of it and why they separate it from the other part and take. It's like, okay, I got it. Once I got it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. And then I was like, God dang it. Why did I wait till I was 40 to experience this? I should have had this in my 20s. Shout out to all them people who was wood stocking and loving it up and all of that back in the day. But I meet them older people, they tell me, hey, I was part of the culture. You ain't talking about nothing. I love it. I just be wanting to hear the stories. Like, tell me more. And now I understand, because experiencing that state of what I call ecstasy. Anybody who's ever taken ecstasy, first of all, don't do that no more. It ain't what it used to be. Second of all, that is trying to be what acid is. I understood that. I understand that now. You know what I mean? But yeah, so just education, and that's why I like to do these different videos and just talk about these different things, because it seems like every time I go into it, people are like, wait a minute, I never knew that. And I'll be like, really? So it's like, all right, so a lot of this stuff is not really understood all the way yet. And until we actually lean in and talk about it and just really go through, you know what I'm saying, it won't be. So yeah, I just wanted to come in and kick it about that. Just understanding, these different classification, these labels and what they mean. It's not that deep. Not that deep. Not that deep at all. You know what I'm saying? But if that would help you to be open to the experiences, because I am one of those people who do believe that this is going to bring about this is going to usher in the next change of, you know what I mean, from the minds, the bodies, the souls, how we approach things, how we see things, opening up our hearts. These psychedelics and entheogens, I think, are having a large part of the transformation that is taking place, which is why they came at the time that they did. Everybody knows 2020, there was an entheogenic explosion, and people started to become aware of and open to and lean into. And now we are talking about the ending of one cycle and going into the new cycle, and where those of us in the spiritual realms that have been overlooked are now going to be valued and seen as who we are, and the people that have been in the physical realms taking things over, operating from greed and maneuvering all of these systems that fail us as a people. All of those things are now crumbling. So the balance is coming back. So with that being said, that is why I feel like the entheogens and psychedelics have been such an intricate part of the last few years of history, is because of exactly where we're going. And these people had to tap into their higher selves, tap into their transhuman selves, their superhuman selves, their, whatever you might want to call it, whatever terms. There's so many different explanations for it, whether you're talking about the indigo children and the crystal children and the rainbow children, right? The X-Men and the Marvel, the opening up the junk strand DNA and the superhuman abilities and powers that we all have within us coming, all of it. No matter whether you're talking about religion, whether you're talking about science, whether you're talking about astrology, whether you're talking about folklore, every single one of them is saying that one system is ending, one time, one age is ending, another one is beginning, and with this new one, all of the powers and abilities of the special people is coming back, and you are about to start seeing amazing things. And I mean, shit, we all know that there's not like a switch turned off and on, that there is a constant flow of ebb from one level to another. And I think that is very clear that we've been witnessing some very interesting things, some very powerful things, some very amazing things over this last, you know what I'm saying, 10 years, 10, 15, depending on how deep you're looking and what you're looking at. It's very clear what's going on. And I'm honored to be a part of it. And I invite those of you who are hearing those, it's always people who have never been a part of something that are speaking negatively against it. Pay attention to that, okay? Me being a poly man, I rode past a post the other day that says something like, oh, you got to be delusional to think that you can have a successful poly relationship in this year, 2025, or something like that. And so I hopped in and I said, spoken like somebody who's never experienced poly. And so the individual was like, well, no, I'm just speaking facts. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a poly relationship? And the answer was no. And I said, the fact that you are on here trying to speak, teach, and talk about something that you've never experienced says enough. You know what I'm saying? So let me just say that out loud. Don't listen to these ignorant ass people who just be running their mouths and don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Have you done it? If you've not done it, then you shouldn't be talking about what, oh, that's just some old like the crack and the people who smoke weed and and then y'all dumbass go to the doctor and they tell you, oh, you got an earache, here, take these 15 different medications, and you go get all the medications and pop them motherfucking pills and be sitting around with a fucked up liver and all of this shit because you ain't never asked no questions. But everything we doing is weird and shouldn't be, right? But if you would have read, it would have told you excessive use of these damn pills is gonna kill your damn liver. But you took them anyway because you trust that, right? But then you speak foul and ignorance against the shit that you don't know. So don't listen to those people, y'all. If you need education, get education. Because, I mean, after that, then the only other thing is experience. Huh? Oh, thank you, baby. Oh, for my cushion coffee, I needed a little coffee. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, because I was a little parched. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to those people. Take it from somebody who has years of experience. Let's say 20 plus years in the field of this. Doing it. Experiencing it. Administering it. Ask for the testimonies from those people. Do I have people who can get testimonials? Yeah. That came with traumas, came with dramas, came with fears, came with I can't even operate in life because of this, and then went through these things and are now operating beautifully, right? So who are you going to listen to? Those individuals who are just running their mouth but have never experienced nothing, never taught nothing, never put out a book, never read a book, never been anywhere, never had a teacher, never been initiated, and they telling you what you shouldn't do. You know, because they pros are not doing. Listen to somebody who's pros at doing. You know? Yeah, see for yourself. See what this shit is all about. Is it really bullshit or is there something to it? Right? And if I do lean into it, do I want to deal with psychedelics or do I want to deal with entheogens? Do it really matter? Is my intentions what's really important? Is the way that I'm approaching these works what's really important? Is the education and the experience behind the individual that's giving me my assistance, gatekeeping, or whatever really what's important as opposed to that? I would say so. These are the things that are really important. These are the things that really need to be looked at, as opposed to listening to individuals who are not even on the path that you are. And if they are, it's only because they're in the way. Who wants somebody telling somebody about something that they've never experienced? That is so ignorant to me. That is, I'm going to tell y'all, that is my number one pet peeve. Every time I hear somebody saying, oh, this is this, that's that, this is this, and I ask them, how long have you been in? Oh, I've never done it. Then shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut your dumb ass up. Tired of y'all just running your mouth. You ain't even got qualification to be talking. Let me be very clear. You're not even qualified to have these conversations. If you have not done what you are speaking on, shut the hell up. Now, if you've been a person that did that shit for 10 years and you stopped because whatever, oh, I'll talk to you. Oh, we can debate. Oh, we can go back and forth. I will listen to them when they say, oh, huh? Oh, that's my food? Thank you, baby. When they say, oh, this is some bullshit, even though I don't agree, I'm listening. Because why? You did this 10 years. I did it 20. Why are you saying this some bullshit? What part of growth and development is you going through, right? But if you ain't never even had no experience in it, your opinion means nothing.
It's yummy.
Yes, it was yummy. Thank you so much for that. You feel me? So, yeah, man, like, that was my little rant, though. You know what grinds my gears? Yeah, people will be talking, they got no experience. Shut up. Where you taught at? Where did you learn from? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people will be trying to talk to me. I already sunned your teacher. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to remember, I come from the streets with the education where we stood literally in the streets and spoke about what we knew. Where motherfuckers be like, yo, show and prove. Yo, where you get that from? Yo, how you come up with that? State your sources. Let's take it back. So by the time we've been standing out there 3-4 hours, and I done told you what book, what seminar, what teacher, where I was at when I heard, you know what I'm saying? And okay, so now where you get what you saying, and you don't have nothing to say, you need to go sit down. You're not even qualified to teach no more or talk no more. But the more individual, every time they get in that cipher and they drop that shit and they stand on that shit and they show and prove that shit, the more that they are listened to. Nowadays it's about how clickbait. Oh, what can I say to make a person click? And I got 1,000 people clicking my shit per week. So now people think you know something. You still don't know shit. I don't care if you went viral. Shut your dumb viral ass up. You don't know shit. Yo, hey y'all, talk to me. I talk back. Talk a little shit, because I talk that. I love this shit, y'all. I love this shit. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's passion. Why? Because I have education. Because I've taken classes. I've taken courses. I've sat under master teachers. I've had experiences. I've done the works. What is you talking about? That's why I stand on what I say. I don't just scream some shit and then run off into a circle and think that, oh, me saying something on social media is going to stand. Nah, somebody just said that was some bullshit. So now let me come and stand on that. Let's talk back and forth. Let's get it. Like, that's where I come from. Y'all go upstairs. Y'all go upstairs. Y'all doing it again. Come sit up under me while I'm alive and start screaming. I know, that's what I'm saying. Both of y'all. You know, so understand that this is passion, y'all. This is passion, and this is where I come from. We don't run. I'm not, oh, somebody tell me, man, I wish I would argue with them people. I'd be looking at them sideways like, man, please. Nah, not me. Not me. I'm not arguing. I'm stating what I'm stating. And they stating what they stating. And we're going to go back and forth till somebody says, all right, I see what you're saying. Okay, you right. Okay, I'm wrong. Or, yeah, okay, I thought so. You know what I'm saying? For me, steel sharp as steel. I'm a martial artist. So when we get in there and you get to going, the whole point is to make the other person give up, right? So, boom, I'm whatever it is to make you stop, tap out, or become unconscious to where I won. And the beauty of this is not violence. This is not I'm stronger than you, I worked out more than you. This is I have studied, I have experience, I have testimonials, I have right, all of these. It's like you in my mind, you should want to strive for that. That should be how you want to present yourself. I know what I'm talking about because I've done it. I've walked with it. But then again, in my human design, I'm a 1-3. I'm an investigative martyr. So literally, we live this shit. It'd be a lot of people who be talking and acting like they teaching, and they literally have never done it. And, you know, my request is that they just shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a request. Not a demand. It's just a request. I can make a request, can't I? Please, if you don't mind, shut the hell up. But, man, I be coming on here because I have fun and I love y'all, man. So I just want to kick it about that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Do what you will. Comment as you want. And other than that, tell somebody you love them in the language that they can what? Understand it in. Peace.